Okay.
Good evening. We'll call this meeting of the Jefferson Common Council to order. Roll call, please.
Alderperson Niles.
Yes. Aye.
I hear in the background, aye. Miller.
Here.
Randall.
Here.
Lars.
Here.
Young.
Here.
Kraus.
Here.
Tully. And Byer.
Here.
Thank you. At this time, we'll welcome Vasvi Joshi from Baker Tilly, and welcome Vasvi. Thank you for joining us tonight for a presentation on our general audit report.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for letting me present virtually. Really appreciate that. And I'm new to GoToMeeting. Is there any way I'm able to share my screen or not really?
Yes, Bill will put up what you sent me, Vasvi.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, so he should be putting that up pretty quick here. It looks like he's getting ready. Is that what you want? Is what you sent me, Vasvi, the presentation?
Yeah, there were three reports, but this is fine for now, and I'll just talk about the one report first, and then we will dive into this one.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So just, generally, I want to explain the whole audit process and how we do it. And so this year, of course, we usually come out to the city twice a year. One is the preliminary audit, as we call it, and that's when we look at, the process and the controls and a lot of, just general information about what has happened during the year so we can plan our audit procedures accordingly. And then a few months later, we come out again, and that's when we really dive into the numbers, at that time. So this year, with, everything happening, the second field work we had to do remotely, and we were able to successfully navigate through that with help of Tanya. And I'm happy to announce again that this year, again, the city's financial statements, have received a clean opinion or unmodified opinion, which is the highest level of audit opinion we can give. And the city's financials include storm and sewer and also Jefferson utilities, and they have their separate audit teams, and they also issue their separate financial statements. But then for the citywide financials, we bring their numbers in, and then we present a combined report for all of them. That report must be, there is a separate attachment. It's a larger PDF. It's about like 99 pages of PDF that's in there. And the first couple of pages are the auditor opinion, that I just talked about. And there is a clean opinion this year. And the few pages after that are something we call management discussion and analysis, which is just a summarized comparison from current year to this year, and that gives us a nice, summary of everything that has happened between and the changes between, comparison between last year and this year. So if you don't have time to read through the entire set of financial statements, I do recommend just going through the management discussion and analysis. So that's where all the numbers and everything is. So, I summarized a lot of information in this 4-page handout that Bill has it up, because, all that information is just, some of it is like mainly general funds results, that's where a lot of activity happens, and then a couple of slides related to city's debt. So the first slide that Bill has up is it talks about the general funds fund balance by category. And the categories are defined by accounting standards. So city follows governmental accounting standards, or we call it GASB, and that defines, what is unassigned, assigned, committed, restricted, and non-spendable. And those are the categories you are seeing in the graph at the top. And just a comparison from 18 to 19. So the non-spendable is the most strictest of the category of all, and that's where the fund balance is just not available for spending because it's tied up in either like prepaids or inventories or just those kind of long-term assets. So as you can see, the black bar is last year and the green bar is current year. So that category has gone down a little, from last year to this year. And then the other two categories, the general fund didn't really have anything in those two categories. And the category above that is the assigned fund balance. And that's where the city actually decides, they set aside money for next year or, for future. So some of it just comes from the city's 2020 budget. And then some of the other items were just, the city wanted to assign for like a property purchase or emergencies and things like that. So if you want to see the details of what makes up that $1 million of assignments, it is available within the city's financial statements, and it's on page, I'm just trying to look up. Yeah, it's on page 56, if you are interested to look into what makes up that $1 million. So that's about a little bit of increase compared to prior year, to factor in the emergency of about $100,000 that was assigned this year. And then the next category is the unassigned fund balance. We're still on the same graph, Bill. So as you can see, the unassigned fund balance, the green bar has again gone up slightly compared to last year. And unassigned means it's just a free available fund balance, that city can use for whatever purpose, they choose to. So in total, city's general funds fund balance has gone up slightly. And just below the graph, I have a short summarized version of general funds income statement compared to budget. So as you can see, the city had planned for use of fund balance of about $419,000 as per the city's final budget after budget amendments. But the city actually ended up being positive about $83,000. So that was a swing of about $500,000. And as you can see, both revenues and expenditures, they're both, the variance is favorable. And that was because of just, higher investment income and, license permits, miscellaneous revenues, donations, those type of, revenues were higher compared to budget. And then on the expenditure side, there were some savings throughout some of the departments. And then city always sets aside about 220 some thousand for contingencies, and fortunately city didn't need to use that money. So that's where all those savings are coming from. And again, details of all of this is included within the city's financial statement. There is a separate schedule that shows general funds budget to actual comparison. And moving on to next page. So this is where there is the trend information presented for the unassigned, the free fund balance we just talked about for the last 5 years. And it is the city's fund balance policy to maintain this unassigned fund balance between a range of 15 to 20% of total general funds annual revenues. So on the graph, the bottom line, the orange line you are seeing is the minimum range, 15% and the 20%. And as you can see, the green line at the top, that is the city's actual general fund unassigned fund balance. And as you can see, it's way like higher than the minimum, range that the city had set aside. And the blue dots are other communities same size as the city that we audit. So we gather all that data because all communities, they like to know how are we doing compared to rest of the communities our size. So as you can see, the city is doing just a little bit better, compared to other communities your size. And the recommendation, GFOA recommendation, Government Financial Officers Organization Association, they recommend a minimum of 2 months of worth of revenues should be in the unassigned fund balance. So that's roughly about 16.7%, and the city has exceeding fund balance exceeding that. So really healthy looking fund balance, which is a good thing in this current situation we are in. We're going to move on to the next slide. So this slide shows some trend information of the city's general obligation debt. So general obligation debt is where the city can levy to pay for this debt service. So that's why everyone is interested in seeing the trend information, whether it's going up or down, and how are we doing compared to other communities and all that. So as per the Wisconsin state statutes, a community cannot have general obligation debt exceeding more than 5% of their total equalized values. So that's where the top black line is. So that is the city's debt limit as per the Wisconsin state statutes. Now the city says, even though the state statute says 5%, we are going to have a debt policy which is even stricter than that. So city's debt policy says not more than 3%. So that's what the middle lighter green line is. And as you can see, the very bottom line is the city's actual general obligation debt. So even though the trend of debt is going up, the city has had to issue more debt in last couple of years, for the police facility and then, some TID projects and other capital projects. But the city's equalized value is also going up. So, the trend is upwards. All three lines are going up, which is a good thing. So if the equalized value wasn't going up and the city's debt was still going up, that would be concerning. But since, even the equalized value is going up, that is a good trend information to look at. And the summary down below just shows the city's total debt, which includes the utilities. And the utilities also have revenue debt, which is strictly paid out of their utility revenues. So you're not levying, for that revenue debt. So that's where the total debt of the city was about 10.8 million, which includes the utility debt. So if you just scroll a little bit down, Bill, to this page, every meeting or almost every meeting we go to, all communities ask, okay, this is great, our trend information, but how are we doing compared to other communities in our county or other communities of our size? So that's where we gave that link to Wisconsin Policy Forum, and if you click on that, there is an option. I think you can click on that link. Yep. And there is an option to select debt, and then you can just filter, which county or which community you want to look at, and then see how you compare to that particular community. So we just wanted to, provide that information to you. Yeah. And, we don't have to look at it now, but yeah, we can. So if you just go down, there should be an option to select debt. Yep, on the bottom right, there is an icon. Yep. And then here, on the left side, yep, that's where you can filter. So you can select any community you want to look at, or there is also an option to click for comparison by county. If you just scroll on the right, top right, up just above the graph on the left. Yep, there is an option to comparison by county. So then that's when you can just select. Yep. And here you can select, Jefferson County if you wanted to look at all communities within Jefferson County or any other counties. So, that gives you a good idea of where you are. So this data is a little bit old because it takes them a while to gather all this and, put it up here. So it shows information up until 2017. So now we can go back to my original presentation. Yep, and moving on to next page. So this particular graph shows, again, a trend information of debt service to non-capital expenditures. So you want to see, where that trend is going, and again, how do you compare with other communities your size? So again, the green line is City of Jefferson, and the black dots are other communities. And you want to be lower. So lower is good. So if you just look at, city is spending about, or at least in 2019, it spent about a little over 13% on debt service. So if we take the total expenditures of the city, and I'm just talking about governmental funds, and how much was for debt service, so that was about 13%. So again, city is doing better than all the other communities your size, which is a healthy looking trend there. So I guess that's a little summary presentation I had for debt and general funds fund balance and all that. So I also wanted to talk about a separate report we issue, and I think I sent a PDF of that one too. It should say Jefferson City Audit Results. That should be the name of the PDF. So that's, again, it's probably about 40 pages of report. And that has a lot of information about, the plan and the scope of the audit and the timing and the key areas we focused on and our responsibilities versus what is management's responsibilities, and any other, informational points like trending challenges for future, any upcoming accounting changes that are relevant to the city. And talking about accounting changes, I wanted to mention that this year, as I earlier mentioned, that the city follows governmental accounting standards, or GASBs. The city did implement GASB 84 and 88 this year, and that's just a presentation thing. That's 88 was for direct borrowings, and 84 was how to present fiduciary activities. So city is in compliance with the new accounting standards. That type of information is also in this audit results. And then it has details of if we made any material entries. There is a list of those entries, and we did make just a few entries, this year again. And it has information on who is your client service team with pictures and phone numbers and email addresses. So if you have any questions or any follow-ups you need to do, you can always, reach out to one of us listed on the client service team. And then just some other information, that we are required to communicate according to the auditing standards. So I do recommend you at least glance through that other report And do let us know if you have any questions or concerns or anything. So that's all I had. So I'll take any questions or, comments.
Thank you, Vasvi. Anyone have any questions for Vasvi?
Thank you, Vasvi.
Okay, well, I appreciate, thank you so much for all of your time, and a big thank you to Tanya for letting us do the remote audit and organizing and helping with all the questions and everything this year. I really, really appreciate it. And thanks, Tim. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks,
Thank
Mary
you.
Jane. Oh,
Good to
okay.
see you.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Vasvi.
Bye.
Next, we'll adjourn to a public hearing to discuss Jefferson Municipal Code to incorporate a letter of map amendment, amending panel number 55055C0193F of the adopted floodplain maps of the city of Jefferson, Wisconsin. I'll call this public hearing to order, and I'll ask Tim to read the notice of public hearing. Thank you.
Public notice is given to all persons in the city of Jefferson that a public hearing will be held on May 19th, 2020 at 7 p.m. in the council chambers of City Hall at 317 South Main Street, Jefferson, to solicit comments on proposed floodplain zoning ordinance map revisions that are required by state and federal law. These revisions govern development in mapped floodplain areas. The proposed ordinance map revisions are on file in the office of the city clerk. The proposed regulations are intended to protect life, health, and property in floodplain areas and will govern uses permitted in mapped floodplains. Activities such as dredging, filling, excavating, and construction of buildings are generally allowed, but may be restricted according to which flood zone the property is in. A copy of proposed ordinance will be on file and open for public inspection in the office of the city clerk for a period of 2 weeks prior to this public hearing. All persons interested are invited to attend this hearing and be heard. Written comments may be submitted to City of Jefferson City Council. This notice was published in the Jefferson Daily Union on May 1st, 2020, and again on May 8th, 2020. And Mayor Opperman, I would advise that the city did not receive any written or oral comments regarding this matter.
Thank you, Tim. If you would now please provide an explanation of the public hearing, we'd appreciate it.
I think most of you are familiar with this particular matter. It deals with the levee that was constructed to protect the project that's happening at the former Foremost Buildings project site. This levee was constructed essentially to remove the property from the floodplain, which allowed for its repurposing from industrial into a multi-unit dwelling property. So what's happened since the last time we've talked about it? This matter was considered by the Plan Commission. They voted to recommend that the ordinance amendment be changed to reflect FEMA's approval, which has been made. We just do not have the letter this evening. It's been approved internally. The floodplain maps are being amended. The next step really is to get FEMA's approval of a LOMAR, which we were hoping to have tonight, but we don't have it. So really all we can do is have the public hearing, table the ordinance until we get the letter of approval from FEMA. At that time, we can consider and hopefully put in place the ordinance, which will allow that project to get an occupancy permit and they can start tenant leasing. I'm not sure whether we have Neil Paff from Bierbecker which I think he may have called in. So Neil, I'm just going to turn it over to you to say a few words.
Yep. So what a LOMAR really does is it revises the floodway. And what revision does to a floodway is it's not going to affect any upstream or downstream property owners. It's only going to affect the property in suspect, which is the apartment complex. So really what this does is it removes that property from the floodway. So accepting this LOMAR will not affect upstream or downstream property owners. It will only affect that property. The reason why that they have not accepted the LOMAR so far is because there was a memorandum of understanding that delayed because of the virus going on. So there's a slight delay in understanding of certified levies, which is a fairly complex project. But we're on the right track, and I feel like we'll be weeks away, hopefully, or days away to having the official government document.
Thank you, Neil.
Questions?
Thank you, Neil. Any persons wishing to be heard, please state your name, address, and reason for appearing. Hearing no one, I'll close the public hearing. We will table proposed ordinance number 4-20 tonight until we receive the official written notification. Move on to resolution number 7, tonight's consent agenda. All the vote provider, please.
Honorable Mayor, council members. Consent agenda. Resolution number 7. Vouchers payable for May 2020 in the amounts of $229,994. Payroll summary for May 5th, 2020 in the amounts $165,039. Council minutes from May 5th, 2020 for the Common Council. Licenses as approved by the Regulatory Committee. We had no operator's license, no special class B licenses, or alcohol beverage license. We did have sale of goods for the Council of the Performing Arts for their brat sales on the corner of Dodge and Main Street. I do need to make an amendment, Mr. Mayor. We also approved minutes for the April 21st and April 19th meetings. I would so move.
It's been moved as amended. Is there a second?
Second, Lars.
Thank you, Rich. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor of approval, please signify by saying aye as your name is called, and all if you're opposed.
Alderman Miller,
Aye.
Randall,
Aye.
Lars,
Aye.
Young,
Aye.
Kraus,
Aye.
Tully. Tully. Did he say aye? Can't hear him. But I saw his face. Fire.
Aye.
And Niles. Thank you.
It's unanimous. Thank you. City of Jefferson Resolution number 8, whereas the Common Council of the City of Jefferson, Wisconsin, that the Chief of Police is hereby authorized to promote Alan Richter from the rank of lieutenant to the rank of captain. The rate of pay shall be consistent with the pay practices currently employed by the City of Jefferson Wage Compensation Promotion Plan. The captain's initial rate of pay is $82,000 annually. Whereas by the Common Council of the City of Jefferson, Wisconsin, that pursuant to the City of Jefferson Fire and Police Commission meeting held on May 14th, 2020, the Chief of Police was herein authorized to promote Alan Richter from the rank of lieutenant to the rank of captain. Whereas by the Common Council of the City of Jefferson, Wisconsin, that this captain's position is a replacement for Captain Dale Lutz, who retired on June 2nd, 2020, will retire on June 2nd, 2020, and that this position is currently funded in the Police Department 2020 operating budget. Now therefore be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Jefferson, Wisconsin, that the Chief of Police is herein authorized to promote Lieutenant Alan Richter from his current rank of Lieutenant of Police to the rank of Captain of Police effective June 2nd, 2020. The rate of pay shall be consistent with the pay practices currently employed by the City of Jefferson Wage Compensation Promotion Plan. The captain's initial rate of pay is $82,000 annually and is currently funded in the Police Department 2020 operating budget. I would ask for a motion from Alderman Miller, please.
I would make a motion to move resolution number 8.
Thank you. Is there a second? Please state your name.
Randall, second.
Second by Alderman Brandel. Any discussion? Personnel Committee Chairman Miller.
Yes, this was authorized earlier at the Personnel Committee. Unanimous vote.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor of approval of resolution number 8, please signify by saying aye as Sarah calls your name. No opposed.
Alderman Brandel,
Aye.
Lars,
Aye.
Young,
Aye.
Kraus,
Aye.
Tully, Fire,
Aye.
Niles, and Miller.
Aye.
Thank you.
It's unanimous. Thank you. City of Jefferson Resolution number 9, whereas by the Common Council of the City of Jefferson, Wisconsin, that the Chief of Police is herein authorized to promote Austin Schmidt from the rank of patrol officer to the rank of lieutenant. The rate of pay shall be consistent with the pay practices currently employed by the City of Jefferson Wage Compensation Promotion Plan. The lieutenant's initial rate of pay is $70,500 annually. And whereas by the Common Council of the City of Jefferson, Wisconsin, that pursuant to the City of Jefferson Fire and Police Commission meeting held on May 14th, 2020, the Chief of Police was herein authorized to promote Austin Schmidt from the rank of patrol officer to the rank of lieutenant. Whereas by the Common Council of the City of Jefferson, Wisconsin, that Officer Austin Schmidt's lieutenant position is a replacement for a lieutenant vacancy created by a promotion born out of Captain Dale Lutz's retirement, who retired on June 2nd, 2020, and that this position is currently funded in the Police Department 2020 operating budget. Now therefore be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Jefferson, Wisconsin, that the Chief of Police is herein authorized to promote Officer Austin Schmidt from his current rank of patrol officer to the rank of Lieutenant of Police effective June 2nd, 2020. The rate of pay shall be consistent with the pay practices currently employed by the City of Jefferson Wage Compensation Promotion Plan, and the lieutenant's initial rate of pay is $70,500 annually. I'll entertain a motion from Alderman Tully, please.
I lip synced him. He said he would so move, Mr. Mayor.
Alderman Tully, do you hear me?
I can't hear Tully either.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion for approval from any alderperson who can hear me. Please state your name and your motion.
I would so move, Fire.
Alderwoman Byer, seconded by
Lars.
Alderman Lars. Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Mayor, this also was unanimous at Personnel earlier.
Okay, there being none, all in favor, of approval, please signify by saying aye as Sarah calls your name. No, if you're opposed.
Lars,
Aye.
Young,
Aye.
Kraus,
Thank you.
Tully, Fire,
Aye.
Niles,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
and Mr. Brandel.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's approved. City of Jefferson Resolution Number 10, a resolution to authorize hire of a full-time patrol officer. Whereas Police Chief Pileggi has taken steps to fill a vacant position based upon a recent resignation of the police department for a full-time patrol officer. And whereas interviews were conducted by the City of Jefferson Fire and Police Commission of part-time officer candidates on May 14th, 2020. And whereas Police Chief Pileggi is recommending that part-time officer Kevin Harper be hired by the City of Jefferson to fill the vacant full-time officer position pursuant to the City of Jefferson Fire and Police Commission May 14th, 2020 interviews and certification. And whereas the Personnel Committee, having reviewed the qualifications of part-time officer Kevin Harper and the recommendation of Chief Pileggi, is also recommending the promotion of part-time officer Kevin Harper from part-time officer status to full-time officer status to the Common Council. And whereas the Chief of Police has full-time funds allocated in his 2020 approved operating budget, and that this part-time patrol officer is to replace a current vacancy in the full-time patrol officer staff. Now therefore be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Jefferson, Wisconsin, that the Chief of Police is authorized to hire part-time officer Kevin Harper effective Tuesday, June 2nd, 2020 as a full-time patrol officer for the City of Jefferson Police Department. The initial rate of pay shall be the entry-level step as outlined in the collective bargaining agreement between the City of Jefferson and the Jefferson Professional Police Officers Association. I would ask for a motion from Alderman Kraus, please. It's been moved.
I would so move.
I read your lips. Is there a second?
I would second.
Randall,
Fire.
second.
Second by Alderman Byer. Any discussion?
Mayor, this also was unanimous at personnel earlier.
Chief, I want to thank you for personally for presenting us with 3 excellent candidates, and it's great to see us be able to promote from within.
Thank you,
We have
Mr.
a lot
Mayor.
of confidence in you and your officers.
Thank you.
Did you have anything that you wanted to add, Ken?
I think that you all made great decisions. You know these guys. Some of them are lifelong Jefferson residents. You've known them from the time they're kids. Great police officers. It's going to be great supervisors as part of the supervisory staff of the police department. We got really, it's hard with Dale leaving, but he's been really working hard with all the supervisors these last few years. But thank you for all of your support. I really appreciate it. I mean that.
Thank you, Chief. Anyone have any questions of Chief?
No, just thank you,
Hearing
Chief.
none, all in favor of approval, please signify by saying aye as your name is called. No opposed.
Alderman Young,
Aye.
Kraus,
Aye.
Tully, Fire,
Aye.
Niles,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Randall,
Aye.
and Lars.
Aye.
Thank you. We'll take that as a unanimous vote. Next, City of Jefferson Resolution Number 11, a resolution to accept the 2019 General Purpose Financial Statements and Audit Report. Be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Jefferson, Wisconsin, that the 2019 General Purpose Financial Statements and Audit Report are hereby accepted. I would ask Council President Brandel for a motion, please. Did we get that? And is there a second?
I'll second. Niles.
Seconded by Councilwoman Niles. Any discussion, questions, or comments? Hearing none, all in favor of approval, please signify by saying aye as your name is called. No, if you're opposed.
Kraus? Tully?
I can't hear you, Sarah.
You can't hear me?
I can.
Okay, good. Okay, Alderwoman Byer.
Aye.
Alderwoman Niles.
Aye.
Miller?
Aye.
Randall?
Aye.
Lars?
Aye.
And Mr. Young?
Aye.
Thank you.
It's unanimous. Thank you. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Please state your name and your motion.
I would so move. Fire.
Alderwoman Byer, second by
Lars.
Alderman Lars. On a voice vote, all in favor of adjourning, please signify by saying aye now.
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you. Good night. Good work, folks. Appreciate your efforts.
Good night.
Have a good night.